Hello, I'm here to talk about the AF100 camera, available for rent, made by Panasonic. It's just a very quick walkthrough of just the basic operations. Now I've already put a plate on the bottom and I'm just going to attach it to the tripod. This is a Manfrotto 501 head, just clicks into place, tighten that up, make sure it's steady. So the camera has interchangeable lenses, so without the lens it looks kind of just like a box. We're going to put on this Olympus zoom lens, 14 to 35. I'm just going to take off the cap, and now you'll see on the top and on the side there's these little red dots, and on the lens there's a red dot, so the idea is just to line it up. It's very simple. I just start with the lens on the side and then turn it towards me and it clicks into place. Once you hear that click, you know it's secure. To take it off, there's a little button on the side and you just push that in and turn it back the same way. So, okay. And then the battery, this is, I think this holds about 4 hours. There's a couple of batteries in the bag. So to put the battery on, there's an arrow that shows you which way it should be going, which is down, and you'll see the little contacts here that line up. So I just shove it into the back and push it down, and again that just clicks into place. Okay, so the battery's on, and now we just need to check we've got an SD card. There's 2 slots, so you can put 2 separate SD cards into the camera, and you know, the size of cars is getting bigger and bigger, so you can really get a lot of footage in just one shoot. So I just got one 64 gig card. You just slide it in to the panel there, and it clicks into place. Everything clicks into place, and then you just close the panel there. So we got a card in. If there was no card in the camera, if you forgot to put in or forgot to check and turned it on, it would tell you on the screen that there was no card. And you can record anything. So it has a little flip screen like a lot of video cameras. You just pull it out. This is to monitor your what you're shooting. Your power switch is right on the side here. Just a little switch, and you turn it towards you to turn it on. And take off the lens cap. It's always a good idea. And now we've got a little image. So I'm just gonna walk through the process really. If it's a new shoot, a good idea is to format your SD card. First thing you should do. So you have a clean card. So on the camera you just hit. There's a menu button up at the top. So you hit menu, and then you have a little kind of joystick thing that is used to scroll through your camera menu. So I'm just pushing it down here, and until I get to card functions. And then to select it, I just push it in, and then you'll see it says card format, no, card status, no. So I want to card format it. So I push it in, and it gives me a choice of slots, and I want slot 1. I push that in, and it says formatting will erase all the contents, and I want to continue, so I slide it over to yes. It's really difficult to accidentally format your card. It gives you a lot of warnings. You can't accidentally push a button and you've wiped everything. So now it's formatting. The egg time is going. It shouldn't take too long. And then once we've done that, we can I can get to show you. There we go. It's finished. Hit the menu to get out of there. I'll just show you the basic buttons that you're going to need. Now we've got an autofocus or a manual focus, ARM. I tend, especially with video, it's manual focus is the key, just because, well, there's a lot of reasons, but just gives you that much more control. And it depends also if you have a lens that's capable of autofocusing, but I've set it to manual. We've got the iris is on the side to change our f-stop. It's just a wheel, goes up and down. We've got we can also select our shutter and frame rate with another dial at the back, and then we've also, in low light situations, we can use our gain, which has low, medium, high. At the moment I'm shooting at ISO 200, and then the second setting is on an 800 and the third's on a 2500. That would give you a lot of noise in low light, but at least we have that option. And you can change all these in the menu as well. And before I start shooting, I like to white balance whatever lighting source I'm using. Now this has a preset. If we don't want to go through all that bother, you can get it's a pretty accurate preset white balance. And it also has an A and a B, which is useful if we want to set the white balance for interior and say we've got a different scene, maybe it's exterior, we can set the white balances and it'll remember that. So depending on where you are, you can keep switching between them. And to set the white balance, you just grab a card, a white balance card or a white surface, and you go to your lighting source, you fill the frame, and then on the camera there's a button at the front, AWB, automatic white balance. You just press that once you fill the card, and it'll, after a couple of seconds, will balance it. Then we're set. But again, if you just want to automate everything, you can always use the preset. You can always fix things like the white balance in post-production, although it's always a good idea to kind of get as accurate a picture as you want before you get into the computer, I find. So let me talk a little bit about the audio capabilities. It has there's two XLR inputs, so you can put two professional microphones in. It also has an interior microphone, which is good if you just want guide sound. I wouldn't use it for your main sound, because you get, anytime you touch the camera it's going to pick it up. And then you've got your little buttons here, whether you've got a line input or a mic input. You just set the switch to whichever one's relevant. Then after you've done that, up here you've got your channel 1 and channel 2 select, and this gives you the options of whether you're recording from the internal mic or input 1 or input 2, which channel it's going to go to. And you've also got phantom power, called mic power. If your microphone needs extra power, this camera can give you it, on or off. Your headphone jack to monitor all that is just at the back. You've got a few things on the back covered up. These are, if you're using external monitors or remotes, or plugging a USB in or HDMI. These are all, the SDI out is here too, for your monitor situations. Basically, once you're happy with your image, you want to start recording, you've got two record buttons. There's one here, start, stop, and then there's one on the side. The button is it's the same size. I thought it was slightly bigger, but it's a personal preference. That starts and stops your recording. So you've also got on the front here, this little dial is ND filters. If you are shooting in bright sunlight, it will actually, if the image gets too bright, it will alert you on your screen that you need an ND filter, and which is quite handy. And then you can just put that on. There's also another useful function, is the zebra bars, which shows you you can either set it to off, 80% or 100, and that shows you your areas of overexposure in the frame, just by zebra lines going across the overexposed parts. So if you want to play back what you've just recorded, you switch the mode from camera mode to playback mode just by pressing that. Very easy, and then you've got your little joystick here to select again and to see what we just recorded. And your menu, your main menu screen on your camera mode, that gives you various options as to the quality, whether you want to shoot in at 24 frames a second, in film cam mode, in video cam mode, different color settings, yeah, I mean, essentially most of this when you're just starting off is you can just kind of almost leave it to default, just to get started. And then yeah, that's essentially it. It records on a strange format. There's some system, depending on your system, you might have to convert the footage when you import it. Other editing software, it's fine. You can just drag and drop it onto your computer and edit it straight directly from your drive without converting it. That's the AF100 in a nutshell. What else can I say?